London Marathon, the most astonishing sight we've ever seen in British sport.
Marcel Hug takes the tape again. De Rosario crosses the line. Sifan Hassan is the champion. Kelvin Kiptum, we've never seen anything like this on the streets of London. A new world record from Paula Radcliffe. The world's greatest marathon. A sight to behold as ever.
The hand of friendship after 26 miles.
Hello and welcome to highlights of the 2024 TCS London Marathon. 50,000 runners will take part today, pushing their minds, their bodies and their spirits to the limit as they take part in this iconic race. And over the next hour, we're going to bring you some of those wonderful human stories. But we're going to start with highlights of the elite women and wheelchair races. In the wheelchair races, Britain had high hopes of success with this week's Boston women's winner Eden Rainbow Cooper, one of the favourites. While in the men's race, 8-time champion David Weir was back for a 25th consecutive go. They got underway first, quickly followed by the elite women's race. So let's join our team of 6-time London winner Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, 3-time London winner Paula Radcliffe, and lead commentators Steve Cram and Andrew Cotter.
Perhaps the greatest field ever assembled in the London Marathon in the women's race, heading for what we hope could well be a new women's-only world record. Lots of miles ahead, of course. We've got pacemakers to set them up nicely, but what will happen in the latter stages? If you were watching last year, you may well remember they all slowed down a little bit when Sifan Hassan had dropped off, and then she rejoined the main group and went on to win it. I think in the women's wheelchair race and the men's wheelchair race we are going to be having Swiss winners, although the men's is not quite so clear. But here in the women's, this is Catherine de Bruyne, winner a couple of years ago, and she did have Manuela Scher, her fellow countrywoman, for company for a while, but she has broken clear. That's a group of men's wheelchair racers behind her, but it's de Bruyne a long way clear at the moment, Tanni.
Yeah, and she's played a really smart race at the moment. She broke from Manuela Scher. Tatiana McFadden was in the pack for a little bit. She's dropped back. But Eden Rainbow Cooper, who didn't have a terribly quick start, is trying to pull them in. And she's in with a big pack of men. They're not allowed to draft, but there will be a little bit of protection.
So in the men's race, well, Marcel Hug was clear, but Daniel Romanchuk, that is Daniel Romanchuk, yes, has done very well to get back there. So these are the top two in men's wheelchair racing and marathon racing at the moment. David Weir was in a group of 3 with Hug, Romanchuk, and David Weir was in there. Suzuki of Japan got back to make it 4 for a while. But you can see they're just in the background there. So Hug and Romanchuk just having a little look over, but it's coming down to these two. We'll be watching this race with great interest, and it's been quick, but we expect that in the first 3 miles. They've actually run a 4:49 third mile, but it's pretty much downhill, and they're well inside the world record schedule. They're actually inside the 2:15 schedule.
You can see the pacers doing a good job of checking their watch. That is 4 miles that they've just gone through, so we should get an idea of whether that pace has settled down. And this is the chase group behind, with Alice Wright and Mary McLennan.
Well, in the women's race, Catherine de Bruyne still out and clear and heading surely for victory. The men's race, that's Hug out front at the moment, Romanchuk in 4th. They were joined by the other two of David Weir and Tomoki Suzuki. So, Tanni Grey-Thompson, this is interesting, and Hug just having a look around. Tactics.
There's a lot of cat and mouse going on at the moment. No one's particularly willing to do too much work at the front. You see Romanchuk a little bit at the back. There's nothing to worry about. They're letting Suzuki make some breaks, but not letting him get too far away. At the moment, my money is still on Hug.
Before the elite men and masses started, there was a tribute to last year's London Marathon winner Kelvin Kiptum, who died in a car accident 2 months ago, along with his coach, Gervais Hakizimana. Kelvin was only 24 years old and had the world at his feet after setting a new world record in Chicago last October. His life was tragically ended far too soon, but the memory of his great achievements will always live on. A special moment for a special champion. The elite men lined up on the start line with personal bests and victory in their sights, while the majority of the 50,000 runners behind them had the goal of just finishing in their minds. The honour of starting the men and mass race this year went to two-time Olympic gold medalist Dame Kelly Holmes. 20 years ago, she won the 800 and 1500 metre golds in Athens. So let's rejoin our commentary team of Tanny, Paula, Andrew and Steve.
The elites get the honour of leading the world's greatest athletes in the world's greatest race, the London Marathon, which has given us so many stories over the years, is set fair, I'm sure, in 2024 to add to that, to add to the history, to the drama, to the tradition.
What a decisive move has been made in the men's wheelchair race, because there is Marcel Hug. Well, I say decisive, it's almost decisive. Daniel Romanchuk is giving chase, but as soon as that elastic band holding the four racers together snapped, it's very difficult for Romanchuk to get back there, but my goodness, he's putting in a hard push now to try and get up to Hug. Well, it might be a Swiss double in men's and women's, so it's certainly going to be De Bruyne in the women's race, but it's been a very different type of race for Kathryn De Bruyne. She's been on her own since it feels like just a couple of miles into the race, really. She put the pedal down.
She has, and she likes, racing on her own. She doesn't particularly like having a huge pack around her, and this is where she's incredibly strong. It feels like it's a race for second at the moment.
Well, we were expecting a kind of a more moderate pace there. Spot on 2 hours 3. Emil Keres is the athlete that I think we're all really interested in this second group. Certainly set off at that 2:5, low 2:5, Mo Farah's record, 2 hours, 5 minutes and 11 seconds. That would be a huge target were he to get even close.
So to the very front of all the racers today in the London Marathon, Marcel Hug. You see just a little bit of a downhill section. Take a breather, adopt that tuck position, get aerodynamic, and he's a long way clear of Daniel Romanchuk now in second place. Hug put in such a huge effort coming away from Canary Wharf, and that just shows the class of the athlete, why he is the dominant figure in marathon racing.
Well, that time there, 63.35 through 20k, that's low 2:14 pace, so it is fast. But I think this is what we expected. We expected a fast first half while the pacemakers were there. The question is, what happens when the pacemakers drop out? Who is going to be brave enough with all of this quality around to keep forging on? The wind perhaps in your face, but I think that we're heading into a really interesting part of the race here. Well on schedule for the women's only record, and I think that's definitely within their sight.
Marcel Hug is heading to victory by a distance. As spectators, you want a dramatic sprint finish down the mile, but as a racer or a runner, this would be the dream. Buckingham Palace in the background, the mile in the sunshine, and Marcel Hug heading for his 5th victory in the London Marathon, untouched and untroubled by the rest. Just a little look around, there's nobody there. Marcel Hug alone and clear, and the champion of London again. He is the best in the business in wheelchair marathon racing. This great Swiss athlete has done it again. And I think we see there is Daniel Romanchuk, who has been second, runner-up to Marcel Hug so often in recent marathons, and he will be again here in London. Winner in 2019, Romanchuk, but here second.
Here's Dave Weir. It's not the result that he wanted today, but third in this field, it's a good, strong performance, and he's now definitely going to be looking forward to Paris.
Yep, he's looking towards Paris from London. This has been hard graft for much of the 26 miles and a bit more for Kathryn De Bruyne. Not quite the dominant figure, but certainly the woman to beat, and has been absolutely unbeatable today in London. A huge winning margin for Kathryn De Bruyne, her second victory in London, and there's the smile now after the face of all that effort over so many years, but a great performance. And second in the women's wheelchair race will go to another Swiss athlete, and the one who was Queen Manuela Schär, used to dominate this event. That broke her leg in 2022. It hasn't quite been the same figure since, but Manuela Schär taking second place. third place to Tatiana McFadden, who won this 4 times in a row from 2013 through to 16. The American, she takes third place. This year just ahead of Madison de Rosario, the Australian who won last year, finishing in 4th this year. Eden Rainbow Cooper is coming home. Winner in Boston last weekend. I think this is just another staging post, this London Marathon, and what we hope will be a long and successful career.
It's absolutely such a massive win for her, but she's not used to racing back-to-back. When you think it was only the Commonwealth Games that she really broke through, she's come a long way in a short time, and she might be a bit disappointed, but this is just another stage on her journey.
Now, looking behind, Peres Jepchirchir has just slowed a little bit again. It's surging, and they got rid of 3 or 4, which is always good to do. And then all of a sudden, you look around, you see the Olympic champion is here, the world record holder is here, the former winner, Jep Kosgei, is there, second from last year, Alemu. This is a high-quality quartet who are all literally looking at each other. Look at Assefa saying, OK, what's happening, folks? We've slowed a little bit here. Surely we want to push this on, and there she goes. That is she was waiting, and you couldn't you see it, Paula? Just a little surge there all of a sudden.
That was a look. Are you going to go? Or no, okay, nobody's going to go, so I'm going to go instead. Who feels good at this point enough to be able to throw a surge in? Whose legs are really starting to tell from that early pace that they're getting heavier and heavier?
Meanwhile, back in the men's race, everything as you were, pretty much. Not too much has happened. A little further back, hopefully we'll get a chance to see. Emil Keres is about 50 seconds ahead of the next British contingent, which is the race for the Olympic qualifying time. And we'll keep an eye on how that's progressing, because Mark Scott and Mohammed in that group as well. But at the front, more like 2-3. These women are heading for a women's only world record. They've let the pace they were running at drift a little bit, but that was in the 2:14 range. And bearing in mind that women's only world record set by Mary Keitany in 2017 is 2 hours and 17 minutes and 1 second, and they're way inside that still, even though they've slowed a little bit, and they're thinking about winning this race now. How do I get to the point where I can make the right decision, make the right move at the right time? And now Paula at the front, a little bit of moving around. Look at Kenenisa Bekele, looks really strong to me. I'm really enjoying the fact that he's up there.
Yeah, I think a confident Kenenisa Bekele is a danger. The other men will have taken notice beforehand, but if they haven't, this will have woken them up now, because he's there to the front saying, this isn't quick enough, guys. Come on, let's move it along.
The qualifying time is 2 hours 8 minutes. Phil Sessamon already selected. Emil Keres looks as though he's heading for the second spot. The third spot was going to be between Mohammed perhaps and Mark Scott. Both of them need to run the time, because they haven't done it before, and they're both on schedule for that. But it's Mohammed who's now forging ahead. Mark Scott still running strongly, but starting to watch this Olympic third place opportunity disappear into the hands of Mohammed. And at the front of the women's race, we've got 4. Look at this. Jep Kosgei closest to the camera, former winner, Olympic champion on the far side. They're the 2 Kenyans. Bookmarks at the minute for the Ethiopians. Alemu just gets checked out there by her teammate Assefa, the world record holder, the outright world record holder. But all of these women heading perhaps for the women's only record, but they won't care about that just now. It's how do I win? How do I find the legs? How do I find the speed in these closing meters to win the London Marathon? They've still got a few hundred to go.
And there's a jostling, a huge push there from Peres Jepchirchir. She had pole position. I think she was worried she was going to be cut off by her safer zone. She does it again. She's made an early drive for it now, and look at that.
She was never going to leave it until the last 200 or 300, Peres Jepchirchir. She's the strongest always in the closing stages, but isn't necessarily always the quickest. I've seen her get out-kicked before, but she's not going to let that happen today. The Olympic champion, Peres Jepchirchir. She said the other day, I need to come to London and be strong because I want to get picked for the Olympic Games. It's hard to get on the Kenyan team. I said, you're the Olympic champion. She said, it doesn't matter. I have to run well in London. And she's proven her fitness, her ability, her tactical nous. And will it be a women's only world record? We're watching the clock ticking away in the corner. She's got to run inside 2 hours and 17 minutes. She's going to do it. Perez Jepchirchir, one of the greatest marathon runners we've ever seen, has an incredible record. Never finished outside the top 3. And this time, she's going to win London in incredible style. And it's going to be a new women's only world record. Jepchirchir is the champion. Brilliant performance from her. The world record holder takes second place, and then Jepkosgei again gets onto the podium at London, the former winner. All 3 of them were inside the record, the old women's only record, and Alemu has to settle for 4th. Perez Jepchirchir on a world record in a women's only race, but perhaps more importantly, she wins the London Marathon, and she'll be back in Paris to defend her title if that was ever in doubt. Well, we're down to 2 in the men's race. Look at him, he's waving. He's acknowledging either the crowd or perhaps some shouts from the other runners going in the other way. They all know Kenny, so it's Ethiopia versus Kenya, as it often has been right throughout Bekele's career. The welcome sight of Big Ben for Mhairi McLennan in her first race. She looks a little tired now, but there's a smile on her face. She's heading to be the first British athlete. She'll be just outside the top 10, I think. I think she's going to be 11th in the women's race. But in your first London Marathon, that's no mean feat at all. The Olympic selection will not be considering her, because she won't get the qualification time. There's a deliberation to be had for the 3rd spot tomorrow. That's up to the selectors. But for McLennan, this is a great first experience. Well, the gap has closed to round about 50 seconds between Mohamed Mohamed and Emile Keres. Emile is still running low end of 2.6. Mohamed Mohamed heading perhaps for sub 2.7 or round about 2.7. 2 great runs from the British athletes thus far. Really enjoying this. And, you know, Munyao is a brilliant up-and-coming marathon runner who's shown he can win at the very top level. The Kenyans will be delighted with his performance here, and were he to win, that will give him a great chance of being on the team, because the Kenyans and the Ethiopians have both said this is an important race for Olympic selection. Mhairi McLennan just outside the top 10. She wants to get under 2:30. That's a big benchmark for any marathon runner. She's tired, she's struggling to lift her legs a little bit, but she's managing to do it. And McLennan is going to get under 2.5 hours. Well done, really stuck to her task well, give it a real go, and was strong when the pacemakers dropped out. But congratulations, McLennan, on a new personal best, of course, because it's her first marathon, and under 2.5 hours in your debut is an exceptional run. Now at the front here, Munyao making the break along the embankment. Bekele is looking behind, and that's always a sign that you're not concentrating on trying to catch the man ahead.
That's telling. That's not the composed looking to either side that we were seeing before. That is a worried look behind. Another check of my watch just to make sure, is Kenenisa Bekele settling for the second here? Not really a lot he can do about it. I'm sure he'd been able to go with Munyao than he would have done, but this is significant. Munyao not wanting to leave it till later on, making sure that he could break any type of finish from Kenenisa Bekele before they make this turn off the embankment.
Here's Emile Keres. Now, if he looks behind, he would see that Mohamed Mohamed isn't too far behind him, but Emile looks as though he's rallying here, just picking up again. The gap was down to about 40-45 seconds, but I think it may well be extending. But Well, isn't it great to see two British men in the top 10 and running so fast?
And that's the thing. I think it's really great to see them up there, but it's really great to see them up there running so quickly and so composed. And for me, there's very little change on the face and demeanour of Emile Cairess over the last 10K almost. Mohamed, you can see he's working hard. Of course he's working hard. He's smashing his personal best at the moment.
Look at Munyao now. Even he has shortened his stride, looking at his watch. I think for me now it would just be get on with it. Keep concentrating, keep looking ahead. One foot in front of the other. Don't worry about what's happening behind, because he's quite a long way and really not much of a threat in their sense of anything or any evidence of this gap closing. I think Emile Cairess has moved into third place. They're passing people on the embankment, both Cairess and Mohamed just passing people all of the time. And I think Emile is now into third place with just 2 kilometers to go. Mohamed's in fourth, both of them heading for an incredible time, and Mohamed is only 30 seconds behind Cairess. Here is the man who's going to win a London Marathon, Alexander Mutiso Munyao. A great run from him. He looks very tired, and now he'll see the finish line ahead of him. It was the great Kelvin Kiptum who won for Kenya last year, sadly with us no more. But isn't it great and isn't it fitting that another young Kenyan follows in his great footsteps to come and take the title at London in a time which won't matter to him. It's still a quick run, it's still a great performance. Munyao is the champion in 2024. He wins the London Marathon with a glance behind to one of the greatest athletes of all time just behind him. What a performance from him, and what a return to superb form for Kenenisa Bekele. The great champion will acknowledge the win, I'm sure, from Munyao. Just didn't have the legs to catch this great Kenyan talent who's shown what a consistent performer he is. That's his second big victory, but this is the biggest one of his life. Alexander Munyao wins, looking nice and strong at the end there, but that was a hard race.
That was a hard run and a hard-fought victory, and he had to beat the great Kenenisa Bekele, who even in that shot is still looking around him. I don't know what he's looking around for, but for him to maybe cement his position, can we say he's put himself into the Ethiopian team? I certainly think Munyao has put himself right in there in the reckoning to step into that Kenyan team.
I've enjoyed watching two great performances from our British men here. Emile Cairess is tired, he went for it. He committed to try and have a go, have a pop at Mo Farah's British record. That's going to stand for a little while yet. Who knows how much longer though, because Emile has shown here that he's capable of mixing it with the best, as indeed as Mohamed, who chased hard. It's a great second half of the race for Mohamed. He's not quite going to catch Emile Cairess, but the two of them are going to finish as the second and third fastest ever British athletes behind Mo Farah in the marathon. Emile is very tired and is just looking at his watch again, because you see the finish line, you see the big clock, you think, I'm okay here. I'm not sure that he knows his third, because there would have been 8-9 men ahead of him. He doesn't know who dropped out, who he's passed, and he'll be elated when he finds out he's on the podium. But he's heading for a sub-2:7 clocking. That's a great performance in his second ever marathon, and he's going to be representing Great Britain at the Olympic Games, where it's third in the London Marathon for Emile Cairess. Brilliant run, that was hard, but congratulations to him. And if he has a little look behind, he's were you first, were you second, who won? And just behind him, what a run that is from Mohamed. Just outside 2 hours and 7. These two men will be selected to join Phil Sesame. To them, that will be an opportunity of a lifetime. But to come third and fourth, two British men in the London Marathon, that is brilliant.
Well, the men's wheelchair went the way of Marcel Hug, as so many marathons have gone in recent times. The Swiss athlete moving clear of Daniel Romanchuk, winner in 2018, and David Weir finishing third in his 25th consecutive London Marathon, but a 6th win for Marcel Hug. There was a story of Swiss success in the women's wheelchair as well. In fact, a 1-2. Catherine de Brunner taking her 2nd victory. She is the woman to beat in marathon racing at the moment. Manuela Scher taking 2nd place, a long way behind de Brunner, ahead of Tatiana McFadden of the United States. Eden Rainbow Cooper, fresh from her Boston win, down in 6th place.
A new women's only world record for Peres Jepchirchir, the Olympic champion, coming out victorious in a wonderful race with 4 of the best performances we've ever seen here in London. Asefa taking 2nd, Jepkoskai 3rd, and then Alemu Lastiu 2nd placer in 4th place this time. It wasn't quite to be for Kenenisa Bekele. Nearly won his first ever London Marathon, but the victory went to Alexander Matisa Munyao, and a brilliant performance from Emil Keres to take 3rd spot. And just behind him, his teammate Mohammed Mohammed, both of them qualifying for the British Olympic team.
First of all, I'm happy for winning the race of today, which is my first major marathon. And after 40 kilometers, I thought I was energy enough to win today's marathon. So
That's when you really kicked in.
So that's why I kicked. And when I see a gap ahead, I was happy because I knew that I will win.
And you were all running today, you elite men, with the knowledge and I'm sure the thought in your minds of Kelvin Kiptum.
Yes, in fact, I think about him and let him rest in peace.
I was not expecting to run a world record. I knew we will make it, we will run, but I was not expecting to be me. I'm happy too to be in Paris for Olympic marathon, and my prayer also is to run good to defend my title.
In terms of what this does for your potential selection for the Olympic Games?
Yeah, it pretty much means I'm selected, I'm in the team. Yeah, I think the selection meetings tomorrow, but yeah, I'll definitely be there. And also, I just want to say, like, in my preparation, I had a really stressful couple of months. My cousin Oliver, he was in the car crash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yeah, it was a really tough time, but he's come through it, and this was for him today, and I was emotional this morning, and yeah, this was for him today.
It was really tough. The wind was all the time, so it was a little race against the wind. And of course, if you have to do it all yourself nearly, then it's really long.
Yeah, it was a really amazing race, but I have also to say it was a tough race, maybe one of the toughest since a long time. The conditions were tough with a lot of wind, and I had to try many times to break away many attacks, and then finally it happened, and yeah, I'm so happy to win here.
Many congratulations to all the elite winners, some incredible performances there. Yesterday, it was the mini marathon which takes place at St James's, and 14,000 young people were registered. An extraordinary amount of people coming down here, young people inspired to take part. And who knows, maybe some champions of the future out there as well.
For the first time ever, the Mini London Marathon is working with a charity. To celebrate World Earth Day, it's the WWF, the World Wildlife Fund for Nature.
I really just like the honour to just be here. It's so cool.
It's just really good to pump up my energy and all that, and I just love doing it. My mum applied the London Marathon so many times but she's never got in. Then I've just applied for it once and I've got in.
Well, obviously we're coming here to have fun. Kids loved it. We was here last year. It was our first time. We had 65 runners across 2 distances. This time we've got 100 runners across 2 distances. Yeah, trying to make the most of the day.
Joe Wicks is an official WWF supporter.
And he is starting this year's race.
Good morning, everybody!
I'm
here to support not only WWF, but also all the kids that are taking part. Also so important for our mental health. I'm very proud of the partnership, and I hope that more kids get involved in nature and appreciate the world we live in. I've got 3 young kids myself. I do love seeing children exercise, because if they can fall in love with it as a child and enjoy the benefits of exercise, they're going to hopefully have a healthier life as they grow into adulthood.
We're a bit nervous and a bit excited at the same time. We just like getting outside. I just love running.
It's important to warm up before the race. And Joe is helping us with that as well.
Love it, love your energy this morning.
Earlier on, Megan Keith gave out the medals to the people who took part in the championship races. These people are the best in the country at our level, but Megan is proof that winning isn't everything when it comes to the mini marathon. She finished 8th in the girls under 17 race in 2019, but 5 years on, she's just achieved the qualifying time for 10,000 metres at this year's Olympics.
It feels kind of full circle, to be honest, and it's just extra special to come and see them all back, having a great time on the Mall, and yeah, being able to present medals is so exciting. I think it's so brilliant to see thousands of kids out enjoying running and racing so fast. I was buzzed to finish in the top 10 when I was here, so it's just about getting out there and enjoying it and soaking up the moment.
Today's race was fun, actually. Felt like I could go out hard, do my best, and came out with a win. Happy with that. David Weir's actually one of my coaches. That's pretty much why I started wheelchair racing, was because I saw him in 2012 and really inspired me to pick up a sport and, you know, try my best at it and see where I can go from there.
Nerve-wracking, like it's really, really loud, especially when you're coming around the side of Buckingham Palace. Like, crowds are all there cheering for you, so yeah, it's really good.
It felt absolutely amazing to cross the line. I could hear my name being cheered on, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I hope people at home feel inspired to take up wheelchair racing. I've only been doing it for a year, and look where I'm at now, so yeah, they really should take it up.
There's loads of new mini marathon stuff going on this year. There's a quiet area and a faith space. A family support area aimed at those with children who are under 5, and a stage to keep everyone entertained.
But enough of all that, now it's our time to run.
It's hard work, but so much fun!
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I'll do it again.
You can see the finish line, and then you just go for the final push to the line, and then you get the medals, and I'm so thirsty.
Once you stop, it all hits you. It's crazy.
Dad, we get to stretch our legs, we get to exercise a lot, and we get a medal at the end.
Any of you who are out there, you would probably find it very tiring, but it's actually a good sport. And if any of you want to do it, we'll try it.
Other people should come and do it. It's really fun.
Come and join in next year. You won't regret it! We love the mini marathon!
Great stuff, and it's so lovely, isn't it, to see so many children having a wonderful time out there expressing themselves on the streets of London. Hopefully they'll keep it up and we might see some champions of the future. But it's time now to head back out to those sea of bobbing heads. 50,000 people expected to cross the finish line this year, which will be a record. So let's go and enjoy their endeavours.
This is what I love to see. Oh, well done, mate. Let's hope he isn't called off into action anywhere on the route today. We have lots of world records being attempted in various guises, fancy dress and other.
So I met a guy at the expo on Friday who's running around with an ironing board with the iron strapped to the back, and that is heavy. So if any of those runners out there see him, give him a hand, because that is really heavy to carry around.
The atmosphere, as always, hello, is amazing. The crowds are out in their thousands, and loads of amazing runners with charities donned on all their t-shirts. You can see, hello, hello,
Harry, I'm getting nervous because while you've been on the phone, your adrenaline is going. You've passed about 134 people while you've been on the phone. Be careful with the pace, mate.
Do you know, Steve, every time I run the marathon, I love telling everyone to not go out too fast. But once again, that's exactly what I've done. It's impossible not to. The atmosphere out here is amazing. The adrenaline's pumping. Crowds are cheering.
Well, we've got so many stories to follow. Imagine doing a TV program while you're doing the marathon. Yeah, I'm in character. I'm going well. Yeah, well done to the pair of them. Don't forget, you'll see the story in EastEnders. Is it on Monday, I think? Really looking forward to that. Emma's in full chat there. Just looks nice and relaxed, all good.
And it is very much a day, isn't it, of inspiration, perspiration and motivation. Everybody coming together to enjoy this life-affirming experience of running the London Marathon.
Everybody just have a good time. Yeah. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Everybody just have a good time. Let's go. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. Feel it, man. And we gon' make you lose your mind. We just wanna see you shake that. Get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never feel. I get a good feeling.
Lindsay Barron from Inverness is running for meningitis now after her son contracted life-threatening bacterial meningitis at the age of 9. Jake was left profoundly deaf and received emergency surgery for cochlear implants. Lindsay is so proud of her son's recovery, and in addition to raising money, she says taking on the marathon is a way of celebrating the resilience of her family. 2024 is a big year for Londoner Jitendra Vajiani, who turns 50 in May. He has chosen to mark this milestone by running for Macmillan Cancer Support, who looked after his family when his father Danji was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He says the Macmillan nurses were a tremendous source of comfort for his dad before he died in 2020. Sarah Gray from Essex has decided to complete her first marathon before hanging up her running shoes for a while. Next month, the 27-year-old will undergo surgery for a brain tumour which could lead to potentially life-changing side effects. But she won't be alone. Her dad and biggest supporter, Gary, will be with her every step of the way as they both raise money for Brain Research UK.
Come on, Dad!
Save the Rhino costumes have charged the London Marathon course for over 30 years, and this year there's a new addition to the herd. Wales wheelchair rugby league player Martin Turner will take part using a bespoke adapted costume.
It's fantastic. It's really good to actually be in the Rhino finally.
Joining 15 others from the Save the Rhino team in highlighting the importance of rhino conservation.
Martin, it is great to see a wheelchair rhino.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be here. Just being out here for inclusivity, everyone can get involved in sports, endurance sports, everything. Here to save the rhinos, everyone together.
That's it. And of course, the whole idea, the rhinos have been part of the marathon for years and years. How's it feel being the first chair?
It's amazing, yeah. So 32 years ago, the first rhino ran the marathon. This is the first time we've got a chair in the costume going around, so I just think it's amazing. just for everyone.
A lot can change in 32 years, can't it? You carry on. Enjoy it, Martin. Enjoy it.
Cheers, thank you very much. Tower Bridge on London Marathon Day. It's as iconic as 10 Beyoncés. And the only thing that makes it more iconic, of course, is somebody in an elaborate costume doing the marathon. What is this all about? What got you inspired to do this?
I don't know. I've done a few marathons in my time, and I thought, why not do it as a dinosaur? Honestly, the best one I've done. The atmosphere is incredible. The crowds, high five, so many people. It's amazing.
All right, well, tell you what, I'll let you get on and get more high fives, and I hope you stay inflated.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Hello, what's your name and who are you running for today?
Paul, I'm running for my mum and my brother.
Oh,
Both
wow.
Passed away with pancreatic too early. I'm from Canada, Vancouver.
Amazing, and tell us what you're thinking of this London cause.
Beautiful. It's the best so far, without a doubt.
And we're on Rainbow Road, the noise, the party. Is this the boost that you needed?
It is, and I need a photograph with you as well.
Of course, we can take a selfie. We can take a selfie, no problem. Should we just do it right now? Let's do it. We're taking a selfie.
There we
You
go.
go for it. You go. Take care.
We talk about all these people being athletes. There are some athletes out there, though, Olympic athletes, who aren't runners, though. And I just want to mention Joe Jennings, who's one of our great high jumpers, who's running the marathon today for the Ron Pickering Fund. And those of you who've watched this over the years and all the way back to the early years, and Ron was one of our great BBC colleagues and did so much for the sport of athletics, and athletes still raising money for the Ron Pickering Fund, which does so much to help young and aspiring athletes. So well done, Joe. I hope it's going well. Perhaps the highest bar she's ever had to clear. Who knows?
Oh, boom. How do you follow that? Danny Crates, Paralympian, 800-metre Paralympic champion, is running for Sports Aid. It's a charity that's helped so many up-and-coming Olympian, Paralympic athletes. They've got 52 runners out there this year. They've had a runner in every single London Marathon, and their oldest team member, Peter Wilson, is 79.
Wow.
Vern, many people will know you as Sergeant Major Vern Stokes, the man that sort of masterminded the likes of the coronation. You know London, you know these streets, you know special occasions here. How does this stack up to them?
This is fantastic. The crowd are fantastic. I'm loving the signs. Not too long now to the finish line. I'm looking forward to that one. If Trump can run, you can run. You're running better than the Parliament, you know, but the atmosphere is fantastic, and it's nice to see London in a different perspective as well, because it's such a wonderful day. We're having a fantastic time, and also we're doing it for a great cause. The Army Movement Fund as well, JJ.
Well, this looks a little fishy, if I don't mind saying.
Thank you for doing the pun so I don't have to. I love you. Oh my God, do I look as awful as I feel?
You look fantastic.
I'm hoping we're at Cutty Sark now. I'm just going to nip in the water and then swim the rest.
Cutty Sark, 6 miles in, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to do the world record of the world's fastest fish, and it's feeling wonderful so far. The crowd is incredible. You're incredible. Cutty Sark's incredible.
You better.
I can't tell whether that's the endorphins or something else. I don't know.
That's it. Well, listen, you keep going, all right? You're swimming this place. Absolutely swimming it.
I feel like I'm talking to you through an ajar door. I'll see you soon.
Go on.
Sarah and Danny Singh from Leicester are raising money for the Evelina Hospital, where their niece received life-saving brain surgery 3 years ago. Sophia, now aged 7, was just 18 months when she was diagnosed with a rare neurological development disorder that causes seizures. Since her surgery, Sophia's quality of life is much improved, and she and her family will travel to London to cheer on her auntie and uncle from the sidelines. Maria Ward from Bingley lost her husband Aaron to a heart attack in November 2022. In the midst of her grief, she came across the Sue Ryder charity, through which she accessed bereavement counselling that she describes as life-changing. Maria has decided to raise money for this special organisation and says while she still gets sad, thanks to Sue Ryder, she says, "Now I know how to live." Graham White from the Wirral has challenged himself to run the marathon to raise money for St John Ambulance, an organisation his mum has been volunteering for over 50 years. Linda has been on hand to practice first aid at hundreds of events, as well as teaching and passing on her knowledge to countless others. She turned 80 last year and is still an active member. Fiona Perry from Stirling began running in 2016 as part of an almost 9-stone weight loss journey. Within 12 months, she was completing her first marathon, and in 2023, she won her dream spot in the London event. However, Fiona never made the start line, as a few months before race day, she contracted sepsis and almost died. But she's back a year later and ready to tick London off her bucket list.
Has it been worth the wait?
Absolutely. It's not the race I had dreamed of doing, i.e. fitness-wise, because I'm still coming back, but the spectators and atmosphere has been amazing, even right from the start. The communities have come out, they've been so supportive, it's been great.
Great, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Enjoy the rest of the race.
Thank you very much.
I've never been a runner.
I just never enjoyed it. I've wanted to run for years, never had the guts.
Tried the Couch 5K and never looked back. Couch 5K is easy.
It's free.
Anybody can do it.
You don't have to rush or you don't have to race. It's not competition.
You start off in tiny little chunks.
The coaches are always there.
You feel that somebody's alongside you.
You run, you walk, you're motivated. Before you know it, you're running for 15, 20 minutes at a time.
It's changed my life completely.
At my age, I feel as if I've achieved something.
I feel great.
The hardest step isn't going out and running. The hardest step is actually getting out the front door. Once you can do that, you're capable of anything.
So get those trainers on, download the Couch to 5K app today and get running.
I am in Struggle City right now. My left leg is dead. I'm hanging on in there. I think I've got about 2.5, 3 miles to go. Honestly, it's an effort just holding up this fight.
Now keep going, Harry. We're really, really proud of you.
Well, out there on the course today, we have a couple of EastEnders actors, because a really big storyline for EastEnders has been the London Marathon, and it's all about the loss of a loved one because of a brain tumour, and the actors Emma Barton and Jamie Borthwick are the two characters who, within the storyline, are running the London Marathon. But of course, they're doing it for real out there. They're also being filmed as well as part of what will be an episode on tomorrow night on BBC One. So we went along to Albert Square ahead of the marathon to see how they were getting on with their preparations.
Hi, I'm Emma Barton and I play Honey Mitchell.
And I'm Jamie Borthwick and I play Jay Brown.
And welcome
to Albert Square.
To Albert Square. No,
sorry, do that again.
Yeah.
Presenting game ain't for us, is it? Over the last 18 months, we have seen a storyline where my wife, Lola, had developed a brain tumour.
I'm afraid there's no easy way to say this, but we found something on your scan which concerns us.
We just really tried to make it as real as we could.
The scan shows a tumour.
And our lovely boss dropped the idea to us that maybe our characters would run the marathon for Lola.
Yeah. What's she gonna spend money on these for?
You're running the London Marathon. I'm doing it with you. Me and Lo signed you up.
I think it's a really clever idea that EastEnders have done to show what a lot of the people all over the country are doing, and that's raising money for their charities or in memory of a loved one. As Honey and Jay are going to be running the London Marathon, we are going to be filmed live on the London Marathon Day, which will then go into Monday the 22nd of April's show at 7:30. This has never been done before in soap history.
All I am worried about is just getting round without falling over.
It's a genius idea, but very daunting at the same time. The London Marathon it's just iconic, isn't it? And I remember, you know, every year watching it with my family and just thinking, wow, how are these people doing it? And now I'm actually one of those people.
When you're there running around and all the crowds are saying everyone's name.
Crowds, isn't it? That's
honestly,
what we're relying on, all the people that are going to come to London and just cheer us on, and that's going to just get us through, and we're going to love it.
Well, let's see how they're getting on. They're out there on the course, and I believe JJ Chalmers has managed to catch up with them.
Jamie and Emma, we don't have Jay and Honey. You're not in character yet, that's correct.
You'll have Jay and Honey in about, well, there.
30 seconds.
There, so we're Jamie and Emma now. Jay and Honey will be there, but it's fantastic so far. We are struggling a bit, but we're getting through.
It's
Crowds are great.
It's amazing, the crowds are great. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
You're absolutely buzzing. Talk to me about the 12 miles that have happened so far first.
So far, so good. I mean, I am a bit sore and Emma's a bit sore, but everyone's been great. It's such a great day and everyone's screaming and shouting and it's brilliant and it's fantastic. So it's great.
I love it. You're still moving there, which is good. You make me want to run on the spot. How are you feeling about switching into character?
We're ready now. We knew where our points were. We just have to treat it like any other scene of EastEnders. Professionally, we're going to get it done and then we can relax for the last half.
Well, they're looking remarkably fresh, aren't they? And just a reminder, their marathon storyline will be in tomorrow's episode on BBC One at 7:30. I'll tell you who else is looking remarkably fresh. It is our reporter extraordinaire who's been out there on the course, not just running a marathon, but regularly checking in with us. I bet we were really annoying, weren't we?
Oh, do you know what? It actually gave me a bit of a boost.
Did it?
I was kind of concerned that I'd be in an absolute state. I was in a state, but speaking to you guys kind of lifted me. I looked down at my splits during the chat and I was like, oh, I'm going a bit too fast here.
I felt like you were speeding up when we spoke to you.
Yeah, I was. I don't know what it was. It was just the excitement of talking to you.
Well, you were passing so many people as we were talking to you.
I think I started a bit later than I should have. So
you were kind of not with people that predicted your time.
It wasn't quite my pace. So that actually is almost a bit harder because you're sort of trying to weave in and out of people.
Of course,
and, you know, your watch says you've done 5K and then about a minute later you hit the 5K mark. So it's...
Right, so I never thought of that actually.
Yeah.
If you're weaving, you're covering more ground, aren't you?
Yes.
Now, tell me what you did eventually cross the line in, because you're a pretty nifty runner, as we know, and in spite
of there I am. Oh God, I look horrendous.
What was
Do you know what? It's that thing. It's that Instagram versus reality, isn't it? You think you're flying, but no, I can tell you, my legs are really struggling. You can see there. I cannot tell you the relief of finishing.
And what did the clock say? What did the watch?
The clock said 3:22, I think.
Whoa!
To go now. How are the legs?
Absolutely destroyed.
But you're going for it, you are trying, and I know you're thinking of that finish line. What are the thoughts right now?
Just doing it for the cause. I'm out here supporting Tourette's Action. The crowd has been amazing. So many high fives, so many cheers. Everybody's calling your name. They've been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, everybody.
Tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Samaritans.
Yeah, I started
as a caller, I came very close to taking my own life when everything seemed to be wrong. I called Samaritans and they saved my life, literally. And my way of maintaining my mental health is to keep running in this giant green telephone.
And we've got Isabella with us as well, your daughter. How proud of you are you of your dad?
I'm so proud. Like I always come every year and I hear the screams, but being in the marathon and hearing people shout, "Come on, Dave," makes me so proud. So it's an honour. It's such an honour to be running with him.
And it's maybe a little bit more poignant, obviously, with the loss of Stephen. Your first time going round without meeting him at the end.
Well, yes, Stephen, my younger brother, he took his own life last year. And tragically, we tried to help, but we couldn't. He always used to come and watch at around mile 24. So we'll be high-fiving Stephen, and we're both carrying a small gift that he gave to us. I'm carrying a tiny horse that he gave to Isabella. Isabella's carrying a little book that he gave. So it's going to be very emotional at mile 24, but ultimately we want to make sure that anyone with Stephen's issues has somewhere to call and believe in tomorrow. It's all about hope.
I am delighted to say I've been joined in the studio by running duo supremo Ivo Graham and Rose Jones. What about the snacks? Were they forthcoming?
Oh, constantly.
God, I had water, I had Haribo, I had all the sweeties. I would eat two and give over one.
It was very generous. I was raised on a much more Spartan sort of. My dad with sweets on road trips would be like 1 an hour, whereas Rosie, the hand was up constantly.
Well, these folks here have still got 2-3 miles to go, just coming out of Blackfriars along the river. Still, I'm sure they're pretty confident that they're going to get to the finish line. We're sat here watching. We're enthralled, actually, by the people who are passing in front of us in the last few hundred yards. All of them. There's a Bedford vest there just gone through there, Paula.
I think there are several Bedford vests in there. Come on, Bedford. Both Harriers and County.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget that there's still the old traditional running clubs. I mean, there's so many people now aren't in clubs, but they're part of running groups, different things. But the old traditional clubs still represented out there as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It really is a privilege to bring this coverage of the London Marathon to you. We start early in the morning watching as those 50,000 runners go off, the elites at the head of them, eventually breaking, as we saw today, a women's world record, and those raising money for charity as well, pushing themselves to the limits. It's always an inspirational day to be here at the London Marathon. So until next time, we'll see you then.
50,000 people will be following in the footsteps of the greats. We've enjoyed watching these pictures for so many years, and it never ever fails to thrill.
Marcel Hug, the champion of London again. The huge winning margin for Catherine de Bruyne.
It was the great Kelvin Kiptum who won for Kenya last year, and isn't it fitting that another young Kenyan follows in his great footsteps? Manyao is the champion in 2024. Chepchirchir, one of the greatest marathon runners we've ever seen, and it's going to be a new women's